Hey everyone, welcome back to BikeBeat. And today we're checking out one of Honda's most surprising releases, the 2026 Honda Super Cub 160 HRC. A bike that blends decades of heritage with a fresh racing attitude, bringing a classic back with more power, sharper looks, and a lot more fun. This is Honda proving once again that you don't need a massive engine to have a great ride, you just need the right mix of performance, character, and everyday usability. The Super Cub name has been around since 1958. It's the world's best-selling motorcycle, a symbol of simplicity, reliability, and freedom. But this new version isn't about nostalgia alone. The Super Cub 160 HRC is Honda's way of saying the small bike can still evolve. The HRC badge, Honda Racing Corporation, changes everything. It signals sportier performance, upgraded handling, and design cues taken straight from Honda's racing DNA. Underneath that familiar frame is a new 160 cubic centimeters class engine, around 156.9 cubic centimeters in displacement. It's a single-cylinder four-stroke, but tuned differently from the ordinary Cub engines. It feels quicker off the line, smoother through the revs, and far more responsive. Throttle input is instant, and the mid-range pull is strong enough to handle city traffic or light highway use with ease. This is still a small bike, but it doesn't feel limited. Riders report it keeps pulling cleanly up to around 100 km per hour, which is impressive for a step-through frame design. One of the biggest changes is the gearbox. Instead of the semi-automatic transmission you find in many underbones, this one uses a proper manual gearbox, 6 speeds in some markets. That single change gives the 160 HRC a completely different personality. You actually feel connected to the bike, you control the gears, you feel the power band, you decide when to shift. It's the kind of involvement that makes riding exciting again, especially in a small, lightweight package. The clutch is light and easy, perfect for stop-and-go traffic, yet satisfying when you ride spiritedly. The handling is equally impressive. Honda has stiffened the frame and improved suspension geometry for more stability and precision. The front forks feel firmer, the rear shocks are tuned for a balance of comfort and sportiness, and the chassis feels more planted than any Cub before it. It still glides over rough roads smoothly but corners with much more confidence. With dual-channel ABS on both disc brakes, the stopping power is sharp and predictable. You can brake hard without losing composure, something you wouldn't expect from a step-through. Visually, the Super Cub 160 HRC strikes the perfect mix of heritage and aggression. It keeps the iconic Cub silhouette, the curved front shield, the simple body lines, and the low step-through frame, but sharpens everything else. The paintwork wears the legendary HRC red, white, and blue racing colors, complete with bold decals and metallic accents. The headlight is full LED, with a clean, modern look. The digital display shows speed, trip info, and gear position, with crisp clarity. Alloy wheels replace the older spoke design, giving it a sportier stance. Every piece of this bike tells you it's still a Cub, but with an edge. The ergonomics stay friendly. You sit upright, with a clear view of the road and minimal strain on your wrists or back. The bike is light, easy to balance, and easy to mount. That classic step-through design remains practical. It's the kind of motorcycle you can commute on every day, use for quick errands, and still enjoy on a relaxed weekend ride. Despite its sportier tuning, it remains extremely approachable for beginners. What makes this version stand out most is how complete it feels. It's fast enough to keep up with traffic, light enough to zip through congestion, and refined enough to feel premium. The exhaust note has a deeper tone, giving it a slightly sportier sound. Fuel economy is still excellent. Early estimates suggest around 45 to 50 km per liter depending on riding style, which means it's efficient enough to use daily without worrying about fuel costs. Technology-wise, Honda hasn't cut corners. Full LED lighting all around, a smart digital meter, ABS, and possibly even traction control in some markets bring it right up to modern standards. Some versions are expected to come with a smart key system, adding a bit of convenience to daily use. These are the little touches that make the 160 HRC feel premium without being overly expensive. Speaking of cost, early pricing info puts the 2026 Super Cub 160 HRC around $3,800 to $4,200 depending on region. That's roughly 1 to 1.2 million Pakistani rupees, though local taxes will push that up a bit. It's not a budget cub anymore, it's positioned as a premium small bike. But when you factor in the HRC tuning, upgraded hardware, and Honda's reliability, it's still solid value. You're getting both history and performance for a price that's far below big motorcycles yet far above basic commuters. So, who's this bike really for? It's for riders who love the idea of a small machine but don't want to be bored. It's for city riders who want agility but also want something stylish and well-engineered. It's perfect for those who remember the old Cubs fondly but wish they had a little more punch today. And for new riders, it's a forgiving, light, and easy bike that looks fantastic. This is a machine that can make every ride feel special, whether you're going to work or exploring twisty backroads. On the road, the 160 HRC's personality shines through. The throttle is responsive, the gearbox feels precise, and the engine hums with a satisfying note. The steering is light and intuitive. It's incredibly easy to maneuver in tight spaces and holds its line beautifully in corners. Honda's attention to balance is evident, the weight feels low and centered, giving the rider total control. It's one of those bikes that just makes sense the moment you sit on it. And when you stop and take a step back to look at it, it just looks cool. There's nostalgia in the shape, but confidence in the details. The clean lines, racing colors, and subtle HRC badges make it stand out without screaming for attention. It's classy, compact, and full of personality. Even parked, it tells a story of where Honda started and how far they've come. There are, of course, limits. It's still a 160 cubic centimeters motorcycle, so long-distance touring at highway speeds might not be its strength. If you plan to carry a passenger often, the smaller size might feel tight. And yes, depending on your country, availability or pricing could be an issue. But those are small trade-offs for what the Super Cub 160 HRC offers. In short, this is a bike built to make everyday riding exciting again. It's proof that performance doesn't have to mean huge displacement or intimidating power. It's about balance, design, and that emotional connection between rider and machine. Honda has taken the soul of the Cub and added adrenaline, and that combination works beautifully. So, if you're looking for something reliable yet fun, nostalgic yet fresh, and practical yet thrilling, the 2026 Honda Super Cub 160 HRC deserves your attention. It's easy to live with, beautiful to look at, and genuinely enjoyable to ride. For many riders, it could be the perfect blend of the past and the future. That's our deep dive on the Honda Super Cub 160 HRC. What do you think? Has Honda nailed the balance between heritage and performance? Would you pick this over a sportier 150 naked or a traditional scooter? Drop your thoughts in the comments, we'd love to hear them. Don't forget to hit like if you enjoyed the review, subscribe to BikeBeat for more in-depth looks at the newest bikes, and as always, ride safe, ride smart, and keep the two-wheel passion alive.